The night hums with digital static, screens flicker like restless eyes, and loneliness scrolls endlessly. She hesitates before swiping right, finger hovering, pulse quiet but present. The profile feels different. Words too careful, photos too warm, charm too practiced. A message arrives before she can close the app. The conversation blooms easily, too easily, until a strange delay creeps in between his replies as if someone is editing them before sending. Later, her phone buzzes again. "You have a beautiful symmetry to your photos." She stares at the message, uncertain whether it's a compliment or a warning. Outside, wind rattles the blind. Inside, something unseen begins to take shape, silent, patient, and watching. Who really wrote that message? And why does her phone light up again after she powers it off? Morning drips into gray, the city slow to wake beneath a steady rain. Coffee brews, steam curling like thought. She replays the night's conversation, scrolling through messages that now feel slightly altered. Words missing, phrases rearranged, as if edited by an unseen hand. The app says they'll meet tonight. She stares at the clock and wonders if it's too soon, if the warmth she felt was real or something carefully constructed to match her rhythm. Every street light outside blinks red before turning green again, like a warning disguised as permission. She exhales, presses send, and the word, "Okay," travels out into a world she can't see. Somewhere, another screen lights up an answer, and the game begins. More fun a subscribe. The game begins. The cafe hums with the sound of espresso and rain. She arrives early, unsure whether anticipation or instinct drove her there. Every tick of the clock above the counter feels louder than the last. The door chime rings and the air shifts. His voice, calm and practiced, fits the noise too easily. They talk about travel, photography, and coincidences that feel rehearsed. His laughter never reaches his eyes, though she pretends not to notice. Outside, storm light paints everything silver. When he excuses himself to take a call, she glances at his phone left on the table. Its wallpaper isn't him, but a photo of a woman she doesn't recognize. Her reflection in the screen looks ghostly beside it. She feels a flicker of warning, small but alive. Evening presses against the glass, rain shifting to mist. She walks beside him along the narrow street. The glow of storefronts bending across wet pavement. Conversation floats between them. Light words about work, favorite films, memories built to fill the silence. Yet something in the rhythm feels wrong. The pauses too exact, the smiles slightly delayed. When they stop under an awning, his phone rings again. He silences it quickly, face unreadable, eyes on her as if studying her reaction more than the sound. The moment stretches until a bus splashes past, spraying them both. They laugh, too loudly. And the spell almost breaks. Almost. As he walks her to her car, she can't shake the image of that phone screen, and the woman's face she wasn't meant to see. The night folds around her as she drives, city lights thinning into shadow. Music plays low, barely audible beneath the steady rhythm of wipers sweeping rain aside. She replays fragments of their conversation, a joke about timing. His odd insistence on walking her to her car, the flicker in his eyes when she mentioned privacy. At a red light, her phone lights up. "Text me when you get home safe." She starts to type a reply but hesitates, noticing the timestamp of his message, sent before they parted. Her pulse quickens. The light changes. Somewhere between one intersection and the next, her phone dies mid-song. The darkness in the car grows heavier, as if something unseen has joined her in the passenger seat. The next morning, the rain has stopped, but its absence feels wrong. Her apartment is too quiet. The hum of electronics that once filled the air has vanished. A phone rings somewhere in another room, then stops. Hours slide by before anyone notices she hasn't arrived at work. By evening, unanswered messages bloom on her screen like wilted flowers. Her coffee cup remains where she left it, cold and half full. The city outside moves on. Cars, laughter, music. But inside her home, the silence thickens into something alive. When her friend finally knocks, the echo sounds like a heartbeat no one should hear. The call to the police sounds calm at first, but the voice cracks halfway through the description. Missing for 24 hours. No signs of travel. Car gone. The dispatcher repeats each fact as if translating grief into data. By midnight, her name becomes a case number. Streetlights flicker outside the precinct, and somewhere a printer hums to life, spitting out her photo, smiling, unknowing. The detective who takes the file pauses at the last message recovered from her phone. A half-typed reply that never sent. It reads only one word. Wait. Screens fill the evidence board like windows into vanished lives. Each line of code, each timestamp, tells a story of someone reaching out and not coming back. The detective scrolls through Emma's messages, stopping where conversation becomes silence. The gap between her final sent text and the phone shut down is exactly 4 minutes. 4 minutes in which nothing and everything could have happened. Rain begins again, soft against the office glass, as if the city itself remembers. Somewhere in that static silence, a signal waits to be found. By the second day, the air around her name feels heavy. News of a missing woman ripples through social feeds, half-remembered sightings multiplying with each share. Her friend keeps calling her number even though it no longer rings. In the precinct hallway, the detective walks a slow line past gray doors, the sound of her shoes a metronome for thoughts she cannot quiet. Every pattern points nowhere. Every clue folds back on itself. She thinks about the word wait, about the pause between sound and silence, and how sometimes the space between is where truth hides. Night again. The city holds its breath. The detective's computer hums as another trace loads, pixels slowly assembling into a map of blue dots. Each one a message from the same username, scattered across different states. The pattern looks like a constellation of vanished lives. She feels the familiar chill of recognition. This isn't a beginning, it's a repetition. The rain outside thickens, drumming against the glass in rhythm with her pulse. Somewhere in the dark beyond her office window, a camera shutter clicks, once, then twice, like an answer. The glow of monitors illuminates the detective's office like a pale sunrise in a storm. She traces each username, each profile, each fabricated photo, and the pattern emerges. Identical smiles, slightly altered backgrounds, repeated hobbies. Every match has vanished after a night alone with him. The chill creeps up her spine. The man she thought she knew from the cafe is no single entity. He is a mask, constantly reshaping. Somewhere in the code, a history waits. Secret folders, erased messages, and the faint echo of Emma's last typed word. Wait! The digital trail is a spiderweb, each thread leading to a life interrupted. She zooms in on locations, timestamps, and repeated patterns. Coffee shops, rented apartments, fleeting messages that vanish before a reply can be sent. Each deletion feels deliberate, as if someone is choreographing disappearance. Her pulse quickens with recognition. The photograph of Emma, still smiling, still alive in the pixels, stands out among the other images. But it's framed differently, isolated. It is no longer just a missing person. It is proof of intent, strategy, and unseen manipulation. Late at night, the patterns crystallize. Names repeat across chat logs, the same carefully crafted charm echoing in every conversation. She opens a hidden folder labeled Echo and freezes. There are photos of women, posed and unknowing, in domestic settings that mimic casual normality. Each image is time-stamped and geotagged. The horror sharpens, a needle of certainty. The man who seemed charming is meticulous, patient, and dangerous. Somewhere behind the screen, someone watches, calculates, and knows exactly how far he can go before the world notices a missing person. The detective traces the edges of his digital footprint, each alias a thread leading into shadow. Every photograph, every false name, every message is deliberate, rehearsed, like a performance meant to ensnare. She realizes the danger isn't just charm, it's calculation. Each victim fits a pattern, a template for control. A chill sweeps through her office as she matches Emma's last known location with one of his temporary rentals. The room hums with the weight of intent. Somewhere, just beyond her reach, she knows she's looking, and the game begins to shift in his favor. She confronts the first human link in the chain, a former victim who speaks in whispered fragments. His presence confirms her suspicions. The man behind the photos is not who he claims to be, and the charm was never real. Every smile, every word, every small kindness was a mask hiding intent. The detective feels a surge of urgency. Every moment brings Lucas closer to erasing traces, moving to the next stage. Outside, thunder rolls, shaking the building. Inside, the map of digital lives waits, silent and accusing. The truth is almost within reach, but so is danger. The memory card sits in her palm like a heartbeat, tiny, unassuming, yet heavy with secrets. She slides it into the reader, and the screen blossoms with images. Rooms arranged like homes, women posed as if unaware of the camera. One photo stops her cold. Emma, seated on a chair with her head tilted slightly, eyes open, the timestamp matching the night she disappeared. Every detail is ordinary. A mug, a book, a window. Yet, the ordinariness is what makes it terrifying. The detective leans back, swallowing the rising dread. How long had he been collecting these? How many lives had been documented in silence? Zooming in, she notices subtle clues. The way shadows fall, the slight tilt of furniture, the repetition of certain objects. Each image is staged, controlled, deliberate. One photo shows a wristwatch, familiar to Emma, left on the table in that exact position. The detective's pulse quickens. This is no random collection. It is a living timeline of manipulation. Her hands shake as she notes the sequence, realizing each location connects to a rented apartment in Lucas's network. The realization hits hard. Emma wasn't just photographed. She was tracked, studied, and placed. The detective begins cross-referencing timestamps, phone pings, and GPS logs. A pattern emerges, precise and terrifying. Emma's last known location matches a photo from the card, a living room staged to look casual but eerily familiar. Her pulse rises as she sees Lucas in the background of another image, partially blurred, camera in hand. The chronology snaps into place. The photos aren't just records, they're evidence of control, rehearsal, and obsession. Somewhere, hidden in pixels and metadata, lies the key to where he kept her. One image shifts everything. Emma, alone, staring at the camera with a flicker of recognition? Or was it fear? The timestamp matches the moment her phone died. The detective exhales sharply. She realizes the photos were staged not only to document but to signal. Every detail, every object is a breadcrumb, a trail Lucas left, either recklessly or arrogantly, assuming no one would follow. Her mind races through possibilities. Which location was current? Which was next? And if Emma had known to leave a clue, where would it be hidden? The discovery is overwhelming. The detective pieces together a chilling sequence. Every message, every photo, every movement was orchestrated. Emma wasn't just a victim of circumstance. She was part of a plan, cataloged and controlled. Her life reduced to images and timestamps. Carla leans back, exhaling, aware that uncovering this evidence is only the beginning. Somewhere out there, Lucas watches, calculating the next step. The storm rages outside as if echoing the chaos now contained on her screens. The truth has begun to emerge, but danger has never been closer. The interrogation room smells of bleach and fluorescent light. Silence stretches taut, broken only by the scrape of a chair. He enters casually, smile rehearsed, hands tucked loosely in his pockets. She watches him, every micro-expression noted, every gesture catalogued. He sits opposite her, calm, composed, radiating control. His voice is steady, measured, but there's a cold undercurrent she feels in her chest. Every answer he gives is a dance, truths hidden beneath charm, deflection hidden beneath politeness. She knows patience is the only weapon here, even as the room seems to shrink around them. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. The detective watches him flinch slightly when Emma's name surfaces, yet he recovers instantly. He answers questions in generalities, anecdotes, rehearsed pauses. Every word feels measured, every pause deliberate. She senses a game, one designed to frustrate and mislead, but within it, a crack, something fleeting, a hesitation that could unravel everything. Outside, distant traffic hums, indifferent. Inside, the air is charged, each breath a countdown. The detective pushes harder, her questions precise, unrelenting. A bead of sweat traces down his temple. He answers too quickly, trying to regain control. Her gaze never wavers. She notices the pattern, identical phrasing in multiple stories, contradictions masked by charm. She leans in, voice steady but cutting through the calm. Where is she? For a heartbeat, his mask falters. A flash in his eyes, hesitation. Then he smiles again, calm, calculating, deflecting. But she knows she's seen the crack. The hunt for Emma's truth has begun. Finally, the walls close in. He starts to speak in fragments, revealing details only someone present could know. Every revelation sharpens the puzzle, painting a clearer picture of the night Emma vanished. The detective leans in, pressing gently, letting his words bleed truth. He resists at first, testing boundaries, but cracks widen. Names, locations, habits, all spill in measured drops, like water slowly eroding stone. Each word confirms her suspicions, control, obsession, and danger. Emma's absence is no accident. The last piece falls into place. His story ends in a whisper of locations, images, and overlooked details. She pieces them together in real time, reconstructing Emma's night from fragments of confession, photos, and metadata. It is chillingly precise. Outside, thunder rumbles, the storm echoing the chaos inside the interrogation room. For the first time, she feels the proximity of Emma. Alive. Somewhere. Retrievable. If only the steps are followed exactly. Lucas leans back, mask slightly fractured, calm replaced by a shadow of unease. The hunt is no longer abstract. It has become immediate, visceral. Patterns begin to intersect, and the threads that once seemed separate pull tight. Emma's last known movements, Lucas's aliases, and Ryan's past interactions with online forums all converge in a digital footprint too complex to ignore. The detective traces the sequence slowly, piecing together meetings, messages, and locations. Each revelation sharpens the risk. Someone close may have unknowingly enabled the manipulation. The air hums with tension. The truth no longer lives in fragments, but in a web of complicity waiting to be unraveled. Ryan's quiet hesitancy reveals a hidden link. Past interactions with Lucas, casual exchanges years ago on photography forums, suddenly take on a darker significance. The detective watches him wrestle with a truth long buried. He admits a fleeting trust, an unknowing thread that Lucas could have used to track patterns. Every piece of the puzzle falls into place, exposing a network of inadvertent connections. Each revelation is a double-edged blade, painful but necessary, cutting through the confusion toward clarity. The timeline sharpens as Carla synchronizes Emma's messages, Lucas' movements, and Ryan's past online presence. Gaps close. Locations once considered minor reveal themselves as critical intersections. The detective notices a subtle pattern in Lucas's photographs, objects repeated in multiple apartments, timestamps subtly overlapping. A single image holds the key, an object in Emma's apartment seen again in another city. The realization is immediate and horrifying. She knows exactly where to focus the next search. The pieces have aligned. The web is fully visible. The detective prepares to act, every movement deliberate. The network of digital and physical clues collapses into a single target. Ryan offers key insight, recalling a minor detail he had dismissed months ago. A door left unlocked, a pattern repeated without thought. Carla integrates it, her pulse quickening as the pieces converge. The danger intensifies. Lucas may have anticipated her every step. Every second counts. Somewhere beyond the map and screens, Emma waits. The pressure tightens around the team, the unraveling complete in precision yet still fragile. Like glass, ready to shatter. Every hidden link is exposed. The network, once a tangle of digital aliases and unseen manipulation, now points to a single physical place. Carla knows the risk. Lucas is calculated and aware. Yet, for the first time, the end seems tangible. Emma's location is within reach. The detective exhales, voice barely audible. "Let's go get her." Outside, the rain has stopped entirely. The storm has passed, leaving only the darkened city and the high-stakes path forward. The unraveling has ended, but the confrontation is not over. The night is quiet but electric, the city holding its breath. Carla drives through slick streets, Ryan beside her, each streetlight illuminating fleeting tension on their faces. Every step, every turn echoes the urgency of the past weeks. She replays every clue, every timestamp, every message. Emma's final typed word, wait. Each leads here, converging at one place, somewhere beyond the apartment walls. Lucas waits, confident, charming, calculating. Somewhere else, Emma's life hangs in balance. The detective's pulse steadies, controlled but sharp. This is the moment the hunt becomes rescue. They reach the apartment. Silence cloaks the building, broken only by a distant hum of electricity and faint water dripping in the hallways. Every door, every step, carries risk. Carla signals Ryan forward as she methodically checks for signs, locks, footprints, even subtle disturbances in the air. The living room, the hallway, the faint echo of a voice. They follow traces almost invisible, piecing together the final moments. Somewhere in the dim light, a shadow flickers. A presence, familiar and chilling, watches, but the detective is ready. Inside, the apartment is silent, suffused with the faint scent of coffee and dust. Photos of women line a small shelf. Emma's face is unmistakable. Carla follows a trail of objects, mug placement, a tilted chair, a small book left open, each a breadcrumb Lucas left unwittingly. They find her in a corner room, alive but terrified, trembling as the detective kneels beside her. Relief floods the space, yet caution persists. The danger has not ended. Lucas is out there somewhere, and the traces of control remain. Every detail matters. Every breath must be measured. Outside, Lucas's world begins to crumble. Cornered by prior surveillance, tracked through every digital alias, he realizes the net has closed. The detective coordinates quietly with officers nearby, their positions covering exits and shadows. Every movement is anticipated. A single click of a camera shutter, a slight reflection in the glass. These are the signs that betrayal has found him. Inside, Emma breathes, the first real sigh of freedom since her ordeal. The room feels larger, lighter, yet every nerve remains taut. The game is ending, but consequences linger in every detail. The final moment arrives. Lucas is apprehended, his carefully constructed world dissolving into handcuffs and silence. Emma is guided into the night, safe, alive, trembling, yet resolute. The detective watches the sequence unfold, the recovery, the containment, the closure, aware that every pattern, Every thread led to this precise moment. The storm has passed. The city exhales. And though scars remain, the truth stands unbroken. Manipulation has been exposed. Control has been ended. And the missing woman has been returned.